Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. Okay, this battle started rather quickly. What you're looking at is PP La Pew Pew, the 105 leFH18B2 French Tier 5 Premium SPG, and this one is on the Eastbourne of Safe Haven under the command of Beowulf. Yes, he has got some letters and numbers after that name. We'll just call him Beowulf for this game, as we have in previous battles. He's got an artillery which is based on the Char B1. It's the German version of the Char B1, the B2, and it's got a 105mm light field howitzer of German design on top of the hull. So it's quite high up. Now this is one of only two premium SPGs in the game, and his first shot misses, just hits the building. Now the light field howitzer, the 105, was actually the most produced of all the artillery pieces the Germans made during the Second World War. A lot of people think it was the 88 or Acht that was the top Arty. In fact, actually no, that was a flak gun which was then later used for anti-tank purposes. It was the 105mm that was the most produced, and mainly because it was easier to move about. It was lighter, it was capable of being towed by your horses, and it was therefore much more flexible on where it was used. Okay, in this battle we are looking at tier 6 tanks with tier 5 tanks in it. Beowulf's on the light is one of the lower tier tanks, so obviously he stands a much better chance of earning more XP than the others. So he'll get 10% for every tier 6 that he hits. He's aiming at a tier 5 at the moment though, and that's the Churchill 3. That guy's getting hammered. He should be able to hit him now. Yes, he does. 99 hit points from a direct hit. It's got a fairly fast reload, this tank. 8.92 seconds is the standard reload time. But I have the feeling that Beowulf's actually got a quite a smaller reload time. Oh, he just got a kill. He just took out the Churchill 3. A blind kill at that. He fired in the direction of where it was last seen and got it in. He's not going to get those guys because they're at the other side of the main building or engineering structure or warehouse structure. I don't know what you would call it, but he's not going to be able to hit them because they're hiding behind the concrete walls. And it's a bit difficult to hit that Portland tank because, yes, the buildings get in the way. Anyway, he's decided to change position, which is a wise decision, because you never know if the enemy Arty's been watching you. Now it used to be you only had a limited amount of ammunition with this Arty as well. You only had 42 rounds. They've increased that now to 50, which makes it much more flexible. And you can see that Beowulf's actually carrying quite an unusual ammo load, because of course this is one of the few tanks which actually, at the lower tiers, which actually has alternate ammo. It can carry heat rounds and armor piercing rounds as standard. Now a 105mm armor piercing round will actually do 350 alpha and penetrate 64mm. So on these tier 5 tanks that's well able to go through, but you have to get a direct hit for it to count. And with the heat rounds, it's capable of doing 104mm of pen, and again, only 350 alpha. The HE rounds, on the other hand, will do 410, and they'll penetrate 53mm of armour, and they're well capable of doing that. A lot of Arty players will tend to fire nothing but HE from their PP to maximise their profit. The heat rounds are quite expensive, the HE rounds are less so. Now he can't hit that Porlac because he's just got too close now, and there's an obstruction in the way that's stopping Beowulf from getting the shell over the top. In the meantime, one of the enemy tanks, a box tank, has decided to go up on top of the building, up the ramp. And we've got a Leopard up there who's probably not going to survive the 13cm gun on that box tank, but, well, the box tank's decided to pull back. Okay, can he get a shot? No, that's the structure that he can't fire over there. The enemy seems to be pushing in this direction. They're doing quite well so far. There's 2 Arty on either side. Beowulf's side's got himself in the VP and an M41 HMC, the Tier 5 American. On the opposite side, the enemy team's got a VP as well, and also an AMX13AM. That's the French Tier 5 SPG. Or our Porlac's gone in against the KV1. And yeah, that might not work out too well for the Porlac because he's losing a fair amount of hit points, but he does take down the KV1. Here comes the M36, and oh, good shot there by Beowulf to actually hit and take 148 and allowed our teammate in the Porlac to then take him out. So that was a good move. Now, we haven't paid much attention to what was going on in the field. Our guys seem to be doing better in the field than they are in the town, but, well, in the town actually, I suppose they have counteracted the enemy's forces. We're now 2 up on the enemy, so it does look as if Beowulf's team is going to get the win. Okay, there's a Dicamax up there. He might be able to hit. There he is. Actually, that's an M10 RBFM. And the enemy just lost their Dicamax, but we could probably take out this M10 with one shot. He fires around it. Oh, it goes to the right. RNG says no. And I think we just saw the tracer from enemy Arty. That shell just missed him. Yeah, we can see the tracer where it's appearing from. And I think that sort of like works out where the enemy Arty is probably located. And there he is, just spotted his location. Bit further back actually, I think there, Beowulf. Bit further back. You could just about see where the... Oh, just fired again, you see. Now he's firing where the end of the tracer is. And of course now, as you know, the artillery is not at the end of the tracer. It's actually a little further away from the tracer. He fires at the M10 RBFM and just in front of him is a splash kill. He's gone. Now, we should get a sighting on that enemy Arty. There you go. He was there. Okay, now we're dialing in. We're working out where he's going to be. Rounds out. The good news and the bad news. The good news is we've still got a lead on the enemy. The bad news is we've only got 3 against their 2. And one of our tanks is the Porlac tank. The heavy tank, the new Yo tank in the game, and he's at the enemy cap area, and the enemy Fifi's just aimed at him. We just fired at the Fifi, but he's on the move again. He obviously realizes he's been spotted and he's trying to avoid being hit. Oh, he fires at the bush here. I think he got that wrong. I can see where the tracer initiated for it, and we've lost the Porlac tank, so it's now Arty versus Arty. There's only 4 Arty left. So let's see who's the better Arty player. I don't recognise the name of the other player in the other Fifi on the opposite team, Beer Gunner. Doesn't appear to be one of the members of 1AR-M Noobs. And I haven't seen that name for the AMX13 F3. Well, F3, it's not the F3, it's actually the AMX13AM. But it's based on the AMX 13-ton tank. I haven't seen his name before either, but obviously Beowulf is definitely a member of 1AR-M Noobs, because he sent this to me. Well, Beowulf's decided to go this way round. He's got a view range of 390 meters because that gun is mounted so high up on top of the Char B1. Oh, he's found the AMX-13! He's turning to try and get the gun on to bear on the target, and the AMX-13 is trying to get away. Beowulf's trying to get a solution. He might have to drive down a little closer, but it also means the enemy Arty, the 105, is going to be working out where to get the shot on him. Well, he fires one round, but he can't get a hit. So he's going to drive down, and the AMX13AM is trying to avoid it. And there's the enemy Fifi. He just fired as well. Now that AMX13AM probably knows he can't wipe out. Oh, and there's the enemy Fifi. He's just been spotted. Going to put a round into Beer Gunner. Rounds out, and no, that missed. And he's got sound detection, so we saw that. In the meantime, the AMX13 has decided to try a shot. And that's the end of him, because he made himself go into the open. And of course this gun's got a very fast reload, which meant that he was able to get that shot. But we can't see Beer Gunner anymore, but we certainly saw that shell come in. So it's up to Beowulf now to win the game. His teammate in the M41's behind him. But if he can get around this corner and find out where the enemy is, then he can shoot him. And there he is. I think he's going to go for a shotgun. He takes a hit from the Fifi, but he's going to fire back and wipes him out with one round. And that wins the game for his team. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second class tanker for Beowulf in the 105 leFH18B2. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 6. And he got a counter battery fire medal because he took out both of the enemy SPGs in this game. You have to kill all the enemy SPGs to get the counter battery fire. But when there's only 2, you only have to kill the 2, nobody else. So he actually got 3 kills in the game. Let's have a look at team score and see where he was. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. Actually, that went to the opposite number. The guy he killed right at the end, the enemy 105 leFH18B2, got 2,580 hit points. And some of that belonged to Beowulf. So he got the highest damage in the game. Did he pick up a high caliber? Yes, he did. So at least he got some compensation. He would have got Courageous Resistance Award and a boost in his credits and also in his XP. The second highest damage in the game actually went to the enemy VK3601H with 1,753, and the third highest damage was the box tank on our team with 1,709. And we can see that Beowulf managed to get 924, which puts him 5th on the damage on his team. But I'm afraid there were 5 enemy tanks who are above him in damage, so he's 10th overall in the game. When it came to kills, the high scorer was the enemy Fifi, again with 5 kills. 4 kills went to our Porlac tank and 3 kills went to Beowulf. And when it came to base XP, it's the Porlac tank on our team again with 780. 746 went to Beowulf and 745 went to the box tank. He fired 24 rounds in that game, got 6 direct hits and 2 penetrations on the enemy and 10 splash. Damage of 924 hit points, of which 768 were at more than 300 meters. He received 1 hit. That was the hit from his opposite number in the Fifi, and 1 hit by way of splash damage as well. I think that was from the same person. In fact, actually, I think both of the penetrating shots that he actually made on the enemy were on the Arty. Yes, he penetrated the AMX13-105, and he also penetrated. Oh, he penetrated the Churchill, not the Fifi. So it's quite unusual that penetrating a heavy tank and getting a pen shot, he actually got 464 hit points when he hit that guy and took him out of the game. Anyway, let's have a look at the detail again. 6 enemy vehicles were damaged, 3 were killed, 539 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 23,134 credits from the game, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 31,127 credits. 746 XP times 2 for the first victory, 448 for this being a premium vehicle, one of only 2 premium Artys in the game. You'd think that Wargaming would want to sell more because they probably sell like in a flash, because everybody seems to want to have the premium Artys, especially just to try them out. And Beowulf managed to get 2,686 experience points altogether. He says 4 Arty left, who's going to win? Well, it was Beowulf who won, because the other M41 didn't seem to be taking part. He was just sitting back and watching what Beowulf was going to do next. But then Beowulf has a lot more experience than that guy. And of course, he was taking on a very dangerous customer in the name of Beer Gunner. I'm not sure. I don't think he's in what Arty Nibs, but if he is, he's obviously a very skilled player to get the results they did, and congratulations on his high caliber. But the win goes to Beowulf, and that's the first battle in our video. We've got another one coming up, also in the Fifi. And the second battle is on the west spawn of Airfield, and it's under the command of ProvoBob. Game on. Now you can see that ProvoBob has a pair of kangaroos on his turret. Well, it's not really a turret actually, it's the armour on the top of the tank. And that's because ProvoBob's from Australia. Yes, he's in the, I believe he's up the Golden Coast of Australia. Well, at least I think he's up near Brisbane. Anyway, he'll probably correct me if I'm wrong. It's a lovely area of Australia to be in because, of course, there's the... oh, we've got a near miss there on the Stug 3B. Yes, of course, that's the area where we've got the Great Barrier Reef, one of the world's natural wonders. We're not seeing the tracer from the shells at the moment. That's very odd. Round south. Oh, that's better. We can see the tracer at last, and he got a direct hit on that Matilda. Round south. Yeah, that one missed. Go for the looks. Difficult shot because he's trying to angle it over the hill, and he's in a little dip there in the ground. It doesn't look like a dip, but it is slightly down. Trying to work out where the looks is going. You look for any clues. Oh, he hit one of them there. That may have been the looks. He hit, oh no, there's the looks. So he hit one of the other enemy tanks that were actually on that spot. And I think we can see which one it is. He's just killed the looks with that shot. I think he struck the Striv M42 with the last round because it's actually showing a missing some hit points. He's looking for the enemy Arty. He saw the tracer coming from this general direction. He's trying to work out where it is. I think he's a little bit closer. It looked to me like he was just on the outskirts of the village. Instead, he's going for the DW2 now, Der Brukswagen. Actually, I think ProvoBob was right. I think that guy is just at the back of the map because it looked like saw the tracer coming from the back now this time. Okay, OI Experimental in Heavy Tank Alley. Trying to get a shot, rounds out. Direct hit. 143, good shot. In fact, actually showing 88 of actual damage. And another one, 125 from this one. So just keep pumping those rounds in. The more the better. What non-Arty players find most disconcerting about the Fifi is the fact that it can fire so rapidly, and it's like they're being pinpricked to death. I remember the Mighty Jingles once said that that he hated being hit by a Fifi because it was just being pecked to death all the time, and there was nothing you could do about it because the shells just seemed to rain in incessantly. Well, the OI's lost, we've lost sight of him. I think he's behind the rocks. Oh, yeah, there he is. He's actually gone slightly over to the airstrip. And we've now got a Matilda to deal with. That was a good hit. 142. Nice shot, actually, because he had to leave the target enough to actually try and make it work. That looks good as well. It is, and it's a kill shot. So he's got his second kill of the game. Okay, OI Experimental again. It might get a little difficult to get shots on him if he goes behind those hangars. Rounds out. Another direct hit, but this time 130 hit points, and the kill shot goes to the M10. Okay, we just lost one of our Matildas. But the tank that did it was a Type 95, and they're particularly vulnerable to these 105mm shells because they've got thin armour. Very thin armour. He fires ahead of Tracer, ahead of the track. Let's see where that one went, but he's keeping his fire rate high, and that's very important in Arty play. The more shells you keep pumping out, the more chance you've got of getting medals. Always try and maximise my fire rate as much as I can. Even sometimes when you're taking a risk that you might actually run out of shells. But there's a good reason behind it. The more enemy tanks you hit, the more chance you've got of getting a Confederate. Well, he fires at the T6 medium in the back there. I don't know if we hit it because he pulled back too quickly, but now he's going for the Type 95. Oh, he wipes him out with that one. Only 83 hit points recorded, but it is a kill. And there's a Cruiser Mark 4. Oh, he would have had that one if he kept moving. But he actually got killed before. Okay, M10 thin armor, only 12.7 millimeters thick. They're dead easy to kill if you can land a shell on them, that is, because the shells normally just go straight through them and provide you a high roll or a low roll penetrating shot. M8A1 again, thin armor. He fires behind it, thinking he was going to pull back, but he didn't. So he's now got to re-anticipate where it's headed. He stopped. Again, he estimates that the guy was going to move on. He didn't. Okay, we've got a Chaffee. An M8's going one side. A DW2's going the other. Oh, kill shot! He takes the Chaffee out with one round as the guy decides to move away. But where has that M8A1 gone? Can't see him now. He's somewhere up on Temple Mount, that area in the centre of the map. That's what I call Temple Mount, because there's a Greek Greco-Roman temple on the other side, the south side. Well, there's the tracer to the Arty scene again. And the M8A1 just suddenly came into sight, but, well, ProvoBob's decided to go after the Arty. There he is. The M8A1. He fires snap there, and that didn't work. It does help to dial in on the target. Oh no, he went to overhead move there. Overhead look, just as the moment he fired. Should be able to get him this time. Oh, zipped over the top of his turret. Probably brushed the hair of the commander as it did. Well, there goes the M8A1. Now we're looking at an AMX-40. Rounds out, just missed him to one side. That's the Greco-Roman temple that you see on the south of the mount. That's why I call it Temple Mount. AMX-40 somewhere in there. There he is. Okay, works out where the red line appears. And we just saw the enemy Arty fire this direction. He's a griller, by the way, that's Arty. We've lost sight of the AMX again. 6 versus 4. Oh, there's the enemy M10 RBFM. Now, if he can work out where to put the shell ahead of the target, that looks good. Yes! Right on the money, and he did pen. 242 hit points. Excellent shot. Of course, he had to lead the target, estimate where the shell was going to impact, let the vehicle drive into the shell, and boom. Yes. That one probably went straight through his engine deck and blew him to smithereens in the process. Okay, there's still that AMX-40 out there somewhere, a T6 medium, and there's the AMX-40. He's in a very defensive position, and remember, those tanks are very difficult to pen because they've got very good armour, which is well rounded. Rounds out, just over him to behind him. Okay, he's gone behind the bush, thinking that will protect him. It doesn't. Okay, let this one dial in. Let it dial in. And he's gone. That means now all the enemy's got left is the T6 medium and the gorilla. Well, I can tell that it's very unusual that you get a game where the Arty's absolutely stayed dead still for the entire battle, but that's what ProvoBob's done. He hasn't really moved him out much for the entire game, but he hasn't really needed to because he wasn't threatened. And the Gorilla on the enemy team really couldn't counter battery him because he was probably outside range. And there he is, he's just been spotted. I think he changed position. Oh, he just killed our looks with an aim shot, but ProvoBob's fired an aim shot. Oh my god, he got a pen shot in that one as well. 252 to wipe him out. There's only one enemy left. It looks like it was a reduced numbers game to start with, but there's only one left. It's the T6 medium, and he's actually at the other end of the map, going after our SU-76GFT. So it looks like ProvoBob's going to have to do something about this. Rounds out. Oh, we didn't see where that one went. He's firing the heat rounds now because he's run out of HE. Oh, he hit that one. It was another pen shot for 352, which is a high roll. He fires snap with a heat round, and that just made an expensive hole in the ground. He's only got 2 rounds of ammo left, so he needs somebody to spot for him. I have the feeling that that T6 medium is going to try and come down from that heights. Oh, no he isn't. He's gone to the gap, and that's his downfall because the DW2 sees him and takes him out of the game. So a nice little top gun for ProvoBob. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the first class tanker game for ProvoBob in the 105 leFH18B2. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 20 in this game, as well as a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle, the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game overall, and he got a top gun when he took out that last enemy, well, it wasn't the last enemy, it was the Gorilla. When he hit the Gorilla and took him out, that's when he got the top gun. I didn't spot that at the time, I was so focused on what was going on the battlefield. But very nice win 8 as well. Look at that, 10,667. That's super unicum and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, it was a reduced numbers game because there were some bots in that one, but there was quite a few humans in the game as well. You can see that from the list now, that there was actually 8 humans on either side. The highest damage was done by ProvoBob with 2,892, and that's a decent score for the Fifi. Second highest damage was the M10R-BFM on his own team with 1,758, and the third highest damage in the game went to the OI Experimental with 1,378 hit points. When it came to kills, he had the highest number of those with 6. 4 kills went to the M10R-BFM, 3 kills to the SU-76GFT on his own team, and on the enemy team, the OI Experimental, the Chaffee, and the Gorilla. Just the OI and the Chaffee got 3 kills apiece, and the Gorilla got 2. And when it came to base XP, it's the M10 who did the best with 1,163. Whilst ProvoBob got 1,154. I suspect that the M10 managed to get some spotting assist in this one. Yes, he did. And of course, I'm afraid ProvoBob couldn't do any spotting assist because he was actually behind his own cap, and therefore he wasn't watching or seeing the enemy at all. And that's what gave the M10 just a little bit boost. That's all he needed to get the 9 extra XP points that would give him the top XP score. But still very nice for ProvoBob to get 3 medals. He fired 48 rounds, so he only had 2 rounds left, and both of them were heat. He actually got 17 direct hits on the enemy and 6 penetrations. Yes, a lot of pens in that one. And I think if we just have a quick check to see which tanks he did penetrate in them, because it would be very interesting. Didn't penetrate the OI or the Matilda, but he did penetrate the looks when he hit that guy. He penetrated the Chaffee, of all things, when they did that quick shot in his direction. He didn't penetrate the Strib. He did penetrate the T95. He didn't penetrate the Cruiser 4. He definitely penetrated the Gorilla. Yes, you saw that one. And didn't penetrate the Stug. If we just go down the page a little. Yes, of course he penetrated the M10R-BFM. That fantastic shot as he was driving away. And of course he did get 1 pen using a heat round on the T6 medium as the guy drove towards us. So some pretty good shooting there to get those so many pens in one battle. He also got 17 splash on the enemy. Those HE rounds are very effective. And 2,892 hit points, all of it done at more than 300 meters. He damaged 11 of the enemy, killed 6, and earned 57,954 credits. 28,977 were from personal reserves, and 86,931 altogether. After ammunition resupplying, yes, he did have to resupply some of the heat rounds, which are expensive. He still made a profit of 69,171 credits. 1,731 XP, 692 for this being a premium vehicle, the 1,731 from personal reserves, and took away 4,154 experience points altogether. So 2 great games. This one, ProvoBob was just blasting away, which is my tactic to get as many medals as you can. Just keep blasting the enemy as much as you can, and you'll usually come up with really good results. It's a pity this wasn't an ace tanker. It's normally easier to get ace tankers in tier 7 games because you get more XP for every tier 7 that you hit. But it was, I think it was just outside being an ace tanker game. But it was a very good game all the same, and a very high win rate. And in the previous game, you can see that Beowulf, well, he had a nice game as well to take out both enemy Arty and win the game, especially when his own M41 wasn't really taking part. Yes, 4 Arty left. Who's going to win? He did. So I hope you enjoyed both those replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.